So, Boros Lotus Field is a deck that always looks like a pile of nonsense. And also, over like several different versions, over several months, has continued to be a very powerful deck with a really high win rate. We've gone through a few different versions. We can kind of scroll through. Okay, this one never made it to the stream. This one is kind of the first one we started to win a lot with. This is one we were playing Nahiri plus Emrakul, but also Golos could spin into Emrakul. We were also testing Karn Silex, which I didn't end up liking that much overall. We also, at the beginning of Brothers War, Phyrexia. What is this set called? We're testing this like boom bust version with Capricious Hellraiser. We trophied our first league with it. We won like 1 and 2 the second league with it. This is, I think, a pretty interesting way to build the deck too. But after kind of looking at the older versions and like kind of pulling away, I kind of realized that the only like 2-mana spell that you really want to be playing in this archetype, in my experience, in my opinion, is Cleansing Wildfire. Cleansing Wildfire is a really good mana acceleration spell in combinations with Flagstones of Trokair, but it is also, like, in my opinion, not a mandatory include. And I like, Nahiri is really optional, Capricious Hellraiser is really optional in this archetype, and if you're just a Cleansing Wildfire away from getting Obosh as a companion, maybe we should just get Obosh as a companion. You lose some sideboard cards too. Playing Relic over Rest in Peace is kind of tough. Playing Blossoming Calm over like Hallowed Moonlight is kind of interesting. So, I think the biggest issue for this deck is that all of the good sideboard cards against creativity are even cost. Hallowed Moonlight, or Orvar, are even cost, and so I was really scouring the sideboard options last night. I at one point had Nevermore in my sideboard. I'm like, this is just going to get Binding and Teferied and Besagied. And I ended up thinking that Blossoming Calm, being able to like stop all the Archon triggers for 2 turns, help to buy you time for Solitude, is maybe a good option. While also Blossoming Calm having relevancy against like Burn and Belcher too. So, of course, I mean, I say this all the time. Obosh is just the perfectly designed companion. Obosh is just the perfect companion. It always has a real cost to include. But it has a very powerful payoff, especially in a big mana deck like this, having access to a damage doubling effect every single game in a deck that's making tons of mana and putting like, a bunch of Furies onto the board can just be a really, really, really strong effect, and is definitely something I think that this archetype is interested in doing, and I think that this is a really interesting way to build the deck. We played a Rakdos Obosh mid-range deck too on Friday, did really well with it, and I do think that these versions of these decks that just kind of go a little bit bigger, have a little bit of a better late game than like Scam and Murktide are pretty interesting as well. I do think that the best 5-drop to play is Golos. I had I think it went 3 or 4 5-drops in the shell, and I was like, I know everybody wants me to play Elishnorn. I think that Golos is better than Elishnorn. It's like an actual card advantage spell at the top end. It plays really well with Ephemerate. It's something that like buries your opponent in the late game while also like having lots of utility. Being able to being able to hit Emeria's Call off Golos is really sick. Being able to go like Boros Garrison, pick up an MDFC, cast it if you don't have a Blood Sun in play is really cool. Obviously, just getting you a Lotus Field a lot of times is really cool. I think Golos has always been really good in this shell, and I think it is the best 5-drop, so we're just jamming 4. Let's see. One cool thing too is like your sideboard Emrakul is mostly for mill, but you can actually bring it in and hard cast it in some matchups. I think that's it. Let's go with a keep. Think there's any room for a potential blue-green based snow deck, or is it too bad in 2023? I mean, there's only like 2 playable snow cards in Modern. It's like Ice Fang and Dead of Winter, and then like maybe Scred, not even Scred. So it's like, and like also like you say a snow deck, like there's no such thing. There's in all of Magic's history, there's been no such thing as a snow deck. It's just been like, oh, I'm playing snow basics and like making some considerations to my mana base to get to play like a card or 2. You know what I mean? It's just like, I really don't like the snow mechanic. It just doesn't like make any sense. And I'm kind of rambling. We're up against Dredge. We have 4 Relic in the sideboard at least. We can maybe win game 1. Scratch Crying Sheets. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like no, no. Snow Deck's limited, sure. But like as far as modern goes, it's like Snow is just like it's just like oh I guess I have to play Snow basics for some reason. Like if the Snow mechanic was like this required you to play basic lands just in general. Do they have Scrapwork Mutt? That's cool. I haven't ever seen that in Dredge. We need to find a Solitude at some point, but we have a lot of mana. We could definitely actually win this game one. Icewing Astrolabe, yeah, it's just like ice. Like both of those just say like you can only cast Astrolabe with a basic land in play. Although you know Astrolabe does count for Icewing. I don't know. I'm just you know not answering the question and rambling about how I don't really like the Snow mechanic. Do they only have 16 cards left in their library? But they haven't Creeping Chilled me a single time. I see a Creeping Chill in the graveyard. Wait, how is that Creeping Chill in the graveyard, y'all? Cathartic? Oh, I see. So next turn I can go Obosh in hand, and then attack with Fury and bolt them, which is a total of 18 damage. You're good, Mark. GG. How do they only have 12 cards in their library and they haven't done anything? Is it because they have Scrapwork Mutt? I hate to say it. Okay, now they have blockers, so my Obosh line isn't gonna be great. Because Dredge sucks now? Well, I just have like never seen Dredge like do this. They like literally only have 2 cards in their library and they're like out of action. Yeah, incoming Thoracle. Yikes. So they have 2 cards in their library. I'm still at 14 life. Fury blocks really well. They get like a lot of creatures here though. Oh wait, no, they only get 2 more amalgams, and then they get 1 ghoul, 2 ghoul, 3 ghoul. Okay, maybe they have action, huh? Another Fury would be really nice, or an Ephemerate. I need the tokens. Let me just keep the bolt, I think. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go Prismatic Ending, Narcomoeba, Obosh in hand, keep a bolt, and then I can block here, here. Bolt 1, take like 7? I'm gonna take 7. Wait, they have a relevant spell? What is it? Is it Otherworldly Gaze in their last card? Okay, it's just Dark Plus. Okay, we're overthinking that one. So Bolt, an Amalgam, block 1, 2, 3, take 10 down to 4. And then I can Obosh and Seasoned Pyromancer next turn. So currently surviving, and I don't see any way they get. I guess so they can dark blast one of my tokens, but then I am still blocking 3 of their creatures and taking 1, and then they die. Dude, what a game! We have some wild games today. Very rare that you get to play like a cool game against Dredge. Very rarely do you leave game 1 against Dredge going like, "Wow, that was fun. That was a cool game." Can you dredge with an empty library? No, you have to have enough cards left in your library for the dredge. Is Creeping Chill my most hated card? My hatred for Creeping Chill has waned a lot. Why is it named better than Bolt? It says Exile on it. What's my thinking? I think Bolt is typically horrible against Dredge. It does, like, you know, unsummon an Amalgam, kinda. Maybe with the Relic, the Bolt is better. We're a 26 land deck on the draw. Could try to keep it. I know some of these lands are Lotus Fields, I suppose. Emrakul 13 is probably worth it. And maybe. So they exile the other Relic Gaze from the yard. And then they just don't have a second land. Really have not seen Dredge draw this poorly in a long time. Wow. With a keepable hand. Can't cast the Bolt super for a while. Hopefully Bloodstone's good. Yeah, I mean, also they did have the other Worldly Gaze to dig for the second land, so like, I could definitely see them keeping that hand if their hand is like one land, other Worldly Gaze, two cathartic effects. I feel like keeping and just like having 4 looks at your second land is probably fine. And they did brick. Okay, awesome. So I'm actually going to. Okay, Katria Triumph tapped. Just trying to think if I'm ever bolting anything against Katria Triumph tap. Probably not. But I want to be able to go turn 3 Bloodsun off of Emeria's call, and then Boros Garrison will enter untapped and give me extra mana. I'll play this. Divamoto Nemesis, just the shuffler. Okay, 4-Switch Borrower. So many Cascade decks. We played 5 matches today, and we played against Rhinos twice, Living End once, Dredge once, Blue-White Control once. Kind of a hellscape matchup spread, I'm going to be honest. Okay, the Ephemerate gives me a chance. I need to find a Fury or a Solitude, though. Heartburn was fun. I did have a fun time, yeah. I think I'm gonna block. It's kind of close. Ooh, Fable and Rhinos. Interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that, actually. I need to draw Fury or Solitude, right? I guess Golos kind of stabilizes if I miss. Yeah. Okay, I can also just go pending a token. Yeah, I guess we just go pending, Bolt, Obosh in hand. It's a new tech for the weekend challenges. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, for me, I always feel like Rhinos doesn't like really love having like those extra like 3 mana value spells. Like you just have so many 3-drops already. Seasoned Pyromancer is okay, Fable's okay, Archmage's Charm is okay. Seasoned Pyromancer might be better than Fable, although like only a single red is like really nice on your mana curve. Okay. I was actually thinking about a card for Rhinos yesterday that's probably not any good, but I do think Galta is kind of funny. Galta is kind of funny. It's like 2 mana really often. 2 mana 12 trample, but probably not. Probably not where you want to be. So if I had the Garrison still in the deck, I could go Golos for Garrison, pick up Flagstones, play Flagstones. think instead I'm just going to Obosh this turn, play Lotus Field. Yeah, Become a Mince has become kind of popular too. I actually, dude, I lost my round 1 of the Hunter Burton. My opponent had like either discarded to Become a Mince or like used it already, something like that. And I didn't play around the second copy in game 1, and I lost to the second copy in game 1, or maybe it was game 3. I don't know, one of the games. Hex, thank you for 4 months if you did well. Which I have seen 2 copies before. I should have played around it, but I sure didn't. Okay, so I think this is how I sideboarded last time. Oh no, I kept in 1 Pending, 1 Bolt. I think I played the Emrakul Promised End. It seems fine. Let's keep it in. Hex, 4 months, thank you. Thank you for the support. 2's become pretty stock. Yeah, I just didn't play around it. I was just kind of used to only seeing 1. That's the thing about modern tournaments, though. It's like just like 1 very small, like don't play around, become immense for a moment, and then, oh, you're 0-1. I like that we can hardcast Fury on turn 4. I think that is going to be enough for me to keep. I also think that, you know, my opponent's likely enough to bring in Blood Moon, so I'm going to prioritize playing Flagstones into Flagstones so I can get my basic planes. Was the Rhinos player playing Might of Corrosive? Was that against me? I can't even remember. Time is so non-linear. Domain or Team of Rhinos? I'm like... Leyline Binding is like such a perfect fit in Rhinos. Like, not only is it like a 1 mana answer any permanent in your while meeting your Rhinos deck building restriction, but it answers hate cards for you that are otherwise like difficult to answer. And I guess maybe not all of them are that difficult to answer, but it answers some hate cards. And and like Blood Moon is like yet another 3-drop in a deck that has too many 3-drops. So I think that you can also still sideboard the Blood Moons, and like maybe should still sideboard the Blood Moons regardless. Okay, I'd love to draw a Ephemerate. Blood Sun would not be too bad. Kind of slow though. Obviously I wanted to be able to attack so I could hardcast the Fury here. Let's discard these 2. And no help. I'm going to put back these 3 if this resolves. Looking for like a red card land, Ephemerate if I'm really lucky. Wow, well, didn't find the land. But double Ephemerates plus the red card, I think, gives me enough hope for next turn at least. I can also, if I draw an untapped land, hardcast Fury and 1 Ephemerate. Much more likely to just still like Blood Sun evoke. I 5-0'd Skim Cyclist. I felt really good, but I think some Graveyard Hate in this side would help. So the only thing, in my opinion, that you want Graveyard Hate for would be the Dredge matchup, which is like probably unbeatable without it. But your Living into matchup is really good. Like, Bombardment in play lets you sacrifice all your creatures in response to Living In. Your creatures come back. If you have Mayhem Devil in play, Living In triggers Mayhem Devil. All your creatures get sacked, and then you deal lots of damage there. You have lots of ways to get creatures in the yard for that. And so, and you have, so yeah, I don't know. I usually don't think that you need Graveyard Hate, but like, you know, there are decks in the formats that you would want it again. But you only have 15 sideboard slots also. And it's like, Dredge is not that popular, and you have to dedicate like 4 sideboard cards to like beat it consistently, so I think just losing to it is fine. Stinks because I guess I'm -1 mana because I was +1 mana with the Flagstones. -3 overall, I guess. And I can't double Ephemerate anymore. They force my Fable. It's fine. Ooh. Wow, that's kind of a crazy draw. Okay, let's start off by evoking. These games have been so swingy today. I almost think I'd rather hold up the extra Ephemerate than play out my Bloodsun right now. Let's do that. How many times? I've built Esper Obosh Shadow before. It's like it needs. I don't know. It's bad, but I have built it. Running out of decks to build. Could maybe be a speed to do this. I'm at 8 life though. I don't feel too bad about just playing kind of cautiously. We're certainly the control deck in this matchup. Did I play Voidrid? Of course not. Of course I didn't. You Esper mages and your Voidrens, you're ridiculous. Get out of here. Wow, I can't believe we drew that. Yeah, I mean, I chatted a little bit about the weekend. I tweeted about it. It was fun. I got to spend a lot of time with friends, and I played a lot of Magic. These weekends are always awesome, and it was awesome. Yeah, sorry the camera angle is a little weird. My standing desk, Lucy unplugged it the other day, and I haven't plugged it back in. Why isn't Ephemerate a staple in 4-color anymore? Nobody knows how to build the 4-color deck right now. It is completely unsolved. I personally do feel like Ephemerate could, should, whatever, be a piece of the formula. But it is currently really unsolved. Get to gain 6 here. If it planes instead of Moon, I guess it's really hard for them to have like Moon plus thing that forces me to Ephemerate, but I suppose so. What is it, living inside of Moon? I think they have a harder time functioning off of these. Ooh, that's you're at 1 life, opponent. You are at 1 life. Alright, so if they have force, they die. Tapping the Islet. Cool. I guess Lightning Bolt kills your opponent at 1 life, even if it deals 6 damage. Not any different. Okay, let's go to game 3. I could play the 4th Wear Tear on the draw. I think that's fine. They both pitched to Fury and Solitude, and like having it against Bloodmoon seems really important. Also, my last Rhino's opponent had Binding and Blood Moon in their deck at the same time. You can also kill Scion if they play Scion. Maybe Warrior is great against them. Yeah, no Hellraiser because of Obosh. But Obosh has also been, like, awesome. Obosh has, like, been, like, a really important piece. And I'm honestly, like, a little surprised it took me so long to get here with the Oboshes. Okay, I really like having Ephemerate in my opening hand. Ephemerate plus, like, Fury or Solitude is, like, a really important way to play these matchups. Hand's a little slow. This hand's actually pretty good against Blood Moon, too. I think I'm talking myself into a keep. I'm going to talk myself into a keep here. I like that this hand is good against Blood Moon. I like that any like Fury or Solitude makes like us good against their Rhino plan. How's Dark Souls been going? I had to take like the week off last week again, which is I know so frustrating. I want to get back into it today. I know I've been saying this a lot, but I've just been so time consumed. Today there's also like a modern Last Chance qualifier that I'm gonna be playing in, probably off stream, probably not on stream, and. Yeah, seeing Forest Island, I would expect there's maybe a Blood Moon. Yeah, maybe on stream, maybe off stream. And so, also doing Dark Souls today is going to be tough. I will try to also do Dark Souls today, though. Because that's just how dedicated I am. It's better to play Second Awakening. I like really actively want to be Blood Moon here. Okay, no Blood Moon though. No Violent Outburst either. Ice the Obosh deck on turn 3. Always Time Walk. Esper Obosh without Shadow, like Mentor on Earth, Souls, Scour. Doesn't sound very good, honestly. Like missing out on like the 2-mana looters, 2-mana counter spells is not worth Obosh, in my opinion, in that kind of shell. So they can Violent Outburst Beam now if they have it. Could be good to just Seasoned Pyromancer here. I kind of like that. Discard like Fable, Emeria's Call. Although I guess worse if I draw Solitude and no white card. Good to see you, Panda. It was good to see you over the weekend. Yeah, no, we've tried Esper Obosh Shadow in the past. It's like, it's something for sure. More than something. More than nothing, less than something, I think. I mean, they're not like immediately Violent Outbursting here. You have a force, you have a force. Okay, that's fine. Take that deal. What are the good discard outlets? And only black-white, and you play a Traxagorio. There aren't any good ones. You have access to, like, Brutality and Liliana of the Veil as, like, even the only things that come to mind. Black doesn't get looting effects in the color pie. So I can get a Lotus Field here, and I can sack the Flagstones to get my planes. Yeah, Cookbook. Bone Shards, yeah. But, you know, it's also, it's modern. It, like, just doesn't cost you, like, almost anything to splash a color in this format. So I'm going to double block. It costs you money? Sure. Sure. Although fetch lands and shock lands are like are still like at an all-time low in modern, which is good, and it ain't cost you as much as it used to, at least. Okay, Fury, evoke Fury. I have, if I draw a land, I can go Golos plus Fable. I've got a lot of good draws here, and the next Rhinos is not coming down for 3 turns. So they don't have a 5th mana, or it's likely they don't have an untapped red source, since they probably would have hardcast that Fury. They might have a 3rd Fury in their hand, that could make some sense. Obviously hoping to dodge Violent Outburst here, probably can't beat Violent Outburst. I could pick up Emeria's Call. Seems fine. Alright, that is, of all the things that could have happened, not so bad. So they did have a 5th land, but it wasn't a red source for the Hardcast Fury. They could still have another Fury in their hand really easily. I can now go Fable plus Golos this turn if I want. And sack of Flagstones. Sorry, tapping in this deck is weird sometimes. I guess I should have tapped the Valakut Stoneforge. I can still sack it. And then just like, I still get to keep the wear tear up. This is coming down in 2 turns. Just traded a bunch of random crap to pick up my first 7 fetches ever. That's awesome. I remember back, like when I was really getting into Modern, like you just like could not trade for fetch lands. Like you would have to like offer like extra value to a fetch land to get it. People were just like not interested in your standard staples, your EDH cards, anything for fetch lands. Fetch lands were just like, people did not want to get rid of them at all. Yeah, I think I had the right read on them having Fury here. So how do we feel about this double block? I don't know. I kind of want to hardcast. I kind of want to spin the Golos, but I also don't want to take that much damage. Yeah, I think I should just double block and then let the Fury kill my stuff. Just trade resources here. I've got a lot of resources still. Still have Obosh also. I'm excited about this deck. This is the deck that, again, I know it always looks so weird. Something we play a lot of, but the Boros Lotus Field deck has been so good, and I feel like this Obosh version is a nice upgrade. Obosh has still been just so relevant. That's a good draw. Let's discard just Wear Tear, I guess. And then hardcast Emeria. Emeria's Call, and I think we play Fable instead of hardcasting Spyro this turn. Then hold this Dilute away. Tyvar in the Pure Stipe Miro deck. I mean, I considered it. I mean, it's like kind of awkward to have like the blue-white hybrid card plus green-black, and the Pure Stipe Miro was always like a weak combo compared to like Devoted Druid, but it kind of fit with the Wizard Tribal Synergy Shell. I haven't looked too closely at it. Oh, dude, I always forget about the indestructible thing. I maybe I'll get a little bit better at hardcasting Emeria's Call. Okay, this time I guess I do double block to play around Violent Outburst. I guess this double block is equal against Fury, or worse against Fury number 2, because then Fury number 2 gets to kill both of these. But I think against Violent Outburst, I'm a little bit more scared. Something we learned from earlier today. Yeah, but I could have also just blocked with my Goblin, maybe, with an Infinite Indestructible. It'd be Fury number 4, yeah. Another reason not to play around it as much. All of a sudden, my opponent has 4 Rhinos in play. And we have some draws, we have a Solitude, now we have an Ephemerate too. Okay, so we're actually doing okay. Hopefully the last card's not like a burn spell. Oh, wow. Well, don't you just love it when a turn is easy and peasy. And we still have Obosh, and we have like the reflections going. I do kind of feel like they're acting like they have a burn spell as their last card. I think we can afford to play around it too, because we can just go like double block. Or maybe just one double block and keep the Solitude in play. Double block like here. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I don't need to like put myself like really weak to a burn spell there. I think I'm ahead enough. Did you play the one Fable? I did play it, yeah. I want to switch it for Tyvar. I don't hate that. Like, I don't love like playing a overgrown tomb for like I don't typically like splashing, like playing an extra shockland to splash a one of. So yeah, I think I would probably advise against it, but also like not feel like super strongly. They did have the fourth Fury, or at least they might have done it this turn. Are we playing 61? I don't think so. My opponent's playing 61 this game. I didn't say anything about it. Could a Norn fit somewhere? Yeah, I think you could play the first Norn over the fourth Golos. But Golos is also like the best 5-drop in this deck, but then it's also a legend. I'd probably be closer to like just cutting the fourth Golos and only playing 3/5 mana value plays because you have Obosh than I would be to like adding the first Elesh Norn. Norn is not bad, but she's also like not that good. She's like awkward at Lotus Field, and like she's good with your incarnations, but you don't have that many other like ETB effects to double up on besides Spyro. But she's not that good with Spyro. She doubles your like redundant Blood Sun draws, I guess, which is something. Turns Blood Sun into a divination, which is something, but it's not something I'm really excited about either. It is good that they've used all 4 Furies though, because Fury would be their best spell here by a lot. Kill like Solitude and Reflection. Yeah, Norn plus Lotus Field is a big combo, but obviously you can just have Blood Sun in play. But you won't always have Blood Sun in play. Yeah, I know. Yeah, obviously, like without Norn shutting off your opponent's ETBs, it wouldn't even be a conversation. But one issue too is like I think Norn. I really like Norn in the other deck I was playing her in, where you could play Elesh Norn on turn 3 in a few different ways. In this deck, you can't play Elesh Norn until turn 4, and I feel like potentially like that stopping ETB's effect is less relevant because of that. But it is a conversation. Speaking of relevant, Obosh just continues to be like so good in this deck. Like I would just be like not feeling great because I'm stumbling, but here I've like I've dealt an extra 9 damage and gained an extra 3 life, and just have like a big board presence. I'm even like doing fine against Violent Outburst here. Solitude trades for a Rhino, and then they're out of Rhinos if they have the 4th Violent Outburst. And so maybe we're both top decking, but I'm going to be at 21 life with 2. Oh yeah, maybe they double block Obosh here actually. That's probably their best block, is a double block. Unless the last card is like a burn spell for Solitude, then we're in worse shape. Play Vantage in case I draw Golos. I was holding these for Valakut Awakening. I guess I actually only have... I only have 1 Awakening left in the deck. Oh, this is a 5/4. I always forget about Violent Outburst giving 5 power on the block. It's not that relevant most of the time. So... I mean, I can Golos and spin, right? So this is... Yeah, if I can Golos and spin if I just play the Sacred Foundry next turn, so I think I'd rather hold these for the last Valakut Awakening, since I can still Golos and spin all at once. Yeah, still ahead. And again, one big thing here is like they just can't cascade into Rhinos anymore. They have no more Furies. And so my top decks are going to be much better than theirs, and obviously I could still flood out and lose, but it's going to be really hard for them to out-top deck me. Yeah, they could have an Endurance, but I think it's unlikely they have it in against me post-board. I almost just want to hold this for the Reflection. But I guess with no Rhinos, no Furies, the Reflection's not that good. I was counting Cataracts as negative. Okay, so it's tap Lotus Field, Boros Garrison for Golos. These 3, the second Lotus Field, 2 Sacred Foundry, Cascading Cataracts is Wooburg, and then this is 2. Yeah. Was Primal Spellshift combo a meme or just playable? Is this Toborg's alt account? What are you talking about? Of course it was a meme. Because I only have 2 Goloses left. This feels so good to just, like, not worry about your Rhino's opponent being able to Violent Outburst you. Because they have all 4 footfalls in the yard. Really didn't main phase crack that Islet. And before Endurance into Outburst. Well, good beat some. It would be a good Twitch clip, good YouTube short. Was Dragon Engine ever a consideration in place of Spyro? Sometimes draws an extra card hasty for the Obosh. I mean, I don't think you can ever play Dragon Engine in a deck without like 4 Goblin Engineer. Dragon Engine only draws a card if you unearth it in this deck, which is not good enough. You need to be able to like cheat with Dragon Engine with like the card unearth or Dragon Engine recommit or Goblin Engineer recommission. These are the only times I ever think that you want to play Dragon Engine combo. So I really thought like unlike kind of like that analysis, this deck was really exciting, and we had like a pretty rough day with it, but I would be interested to return to it at some point. I was really excited for this deck. I regret it always feels so bad when I spend so long on a deck off stream. Like this was like probably like 5-6 hours off stream, like getting this together, and I ended up playing it on stream for like maybe an hour and a half. But that's the process, you know, that's the process. If this is another Cascade deck, I'm losing it. We play against Rhinos twice, Living End once, Blue-White Control once, Dredge once. Those have been our matchups today. Yeah, I might play it again at some point. Does look like another Dredge deck. Or sorry, Cascade deck. I mean, our Rhinos matchup is, I think, good. Although Fire Ice here is tough. Yeah, we are 2-0 against Rhinos. I think. Yeah. I blended your 4-color Omnath Elephant Norn list and the Solfi Alta list. Now, Omnath Elephant Norn. I don't know what that is. Dude, it's so Monitor's so weird. It's like for the longest time, like I go on and on about how like Rhinos is like the most underplayed deck in Modern, and then just randomly one Monday morning we play against it for half of our matches. I don't know. Maybe no deck is underplayed. Maybe you just see the decks as often as you see them. Okay, let's find an Ephemerate. Let's freaking go. Did I say Rhinos was good against creativity? It is, yeah. I don't know. I think I don't know why it's seeing the uptick. That could be the reason why. I'm just kind of musing. Dodge the Force of Negation. Damn it, wasn't fast enough. Yeah, just variance some. But weird variance for sure. They have no red mana up. I feel okay about a triple block here, I guess. Yeah, but I do think that makes sense, though. Like, Rhinos is pretty good against creativity. Just, like, Force of Negation decks, I think, in general, are good against creativity. Is Rhino's creativity deck? People, you can build both together, yeah. You lose Charlotte's Agent, and you have to play Demonic Dread, though, which is not something I really want to do. And it's like another thing too is like Rhinos just like does like the solution to Rhinos is not increasing the mana curve. In my opinion, I think that if you're raising your mana curve in Rhinos, you're probably making a deck building error. I thought Force would be good against creativity. They just slam to Fairy and protect it with Veil. I mean, you won't win every single time. So, but also, if Teferi plus Veil up, why haven't you cascaded yet, you know? Okay, we need to draw our own Fury, I guess, to really get back into this. Or Solitude. Golos could trade with Fury or something. Emeria's Call, okay. We can Seasoned Pyromancer token, chump block Fury twice. Still not completely dead. It's okay, you know, we can be 2-1. I mean, we can lose game 1 against Rhinos. Why cast the Solitude before they untapped? I've seen main deck Subtlety enough of the time, but like another thing too is it's like I'm going to Solitude. Oh, what a crazy draw against me. I'm going to Solitude anyways this turn. Like I might as well play around the Subtlety. I don't think that I even necessarily want to block the Shardless Agent. Because I kind of want to maybe set up for Obosh plus like double power on Solitude later, so I'm kind of happy if they don't attack with the Agent. Very marginal, kind of no matter what. I think that these last couple of matches, I've really felt like I have the late game advantage against them. What is for Wear Tear? Blood Moon, Leyline Binding, Sign of Draco. You can also hit Shardless Agent sometimes. But like, yeah, Binding and Blood Moon are really good against you. More specifically, Blood Moon. But what's cool is like Wear Tear pitches to both Solitude and Fury, and so to that extent, the opportunity cost of siding them in is lower. And also like these Prismatic Ending and Bolts are really, really mediocre. Their Teamer. Yeah, which has Blood Moon. Yeah, I don't know. It's I feel like there's been several times where I felt like my opponent was one version of Rhinos or the other, and then there's just like a Triumph that I didn't see game one, and they have Binding in their deck, or I think they have Binding, not Blood Moon, and they have both. You know, it's for me, it's really difficult to like ever de facto say that they're playing Binding or Blood Moon, especially because a lot of times they just have both in the sideboard. But at the very least, they'll have Blood Moon. This deck seems way better than Jeskai version. I do think that this deck is better than the Jeskai version. Golos is like I think one thing too is like understanding just how like crazy Golos is in the deck as like your top end of the curve, and you have like you're really good at stabilizing in the early game because you're a Solitude, Fury, Ephemerate, a Prismatic Ending deck, and the addition of Fable of the Mirror Breaker I think is like really, really nice here. And also like Obosh is great in this deck too. Obosh like really gives you that flood insurance, that late game pressure, the ability to close games, which is so like having a companion in your big mana deck is tough. Will there be souls today? I'm planning on yes at the moment. Sounds pretty good if we draw a land. Let's go to 6. 6 and regret it. The problem is there's a modern last chance qualifier that starts in 5 hours and 40 minutes, and so okay, can keep this. And so I'm not sure exactly what I'm playing it kind of by ear. Like, am I going to pivot from Magic into Dark Souls, then play that off stream, or am I going to do the normal Magic stream, take a break, and then one thing I could do is I could just stream the Last Chance qualifier, and I could stream it and then play Dark Souls in between rounds, which I think could be good too. It qualifies you for the showcase it qualifies you for another qualifier, but it basically it's kind of like a regional championship. That's maybe not the best comparison, but I think that is the closest comparison. It's like better than the regional championship even too, where it qualifies you for a small tournament that first place is maybe first and second place get Pro Tour qualifications, and you have to get first or second of the thing. It's much smaller than the regional championship. It's like 48 players. So it's like even like way better. I've been thinking about this lately. I think that the showcase into showcase championship is probably the best path to the Pro Tour for me. And I need to keep this as a white card to pitch. I also kind of want to be casting these 5-drops. Have I decided a deck? Yeah, but I don't think I want to say at the moment. Potato thing with 15 months. Oh, cycle, sure. It's like for me, it's been very difficult to like find the time to like RCQ grind. It's like really, it's really counterproductive to my like content schedule, my stream schedule, blah blah blah, and okay, I do think I want to Solitude Ephemerate here so that I can play around Force of Negation. You know, I also like to play Pathfinder on the weekends. It's just like a whole thing, and okay, don't dead gun me. If WotC gave you a celeb invite, would I take it? I don't think so. I've thought about it in the past. I think no, and it's I don't know. It's a combination like I really do want to earn it. I want to earn it like I've earned it in the past, and that journey to the Pro Tour, I don't like cheapening it too much. But also, like, I would be lying if I said like the backlash online would also like just not be worth it, seeing like how toxic the community generally is to Wizards giving special invites to streamers. They're like so incredibly toxic about it that I just probably prefer to dodge the smoke. Important to go for Solitude before the Shardless resolves. Because they can't go land dead gone, sure. My grinder days, I still prefer to play your own brews, or do I play more established decks? I play more established decks. Like one thing is, like, it just really wasn't possible for me to brew like I brew now back then, since like it was, you know, there was no rental services back then. I didn't have like the time, I didn't have the money. It was like a whole thing. But I'm very lucky to have both of those things now. Okay, so I'm on a mulligan to 5. I feel like if I go Obosh, Evoke Fury, kill both rhinos, I stabilize really hard, but then I like lose. Yeah, it's not completely that I want to avoid the smoke, but I would be lying if I said that that was not like a big part of the reason why I would say no. It's like 50-50. No smoke, and also I just want to earn the invite. It's okay. I'll earn it again at some point. WotC has PT spots for streamers. They have in the past. I don't think they've given out streamer invites in a long time, and like largely due to community backlash, and like you know, it's just like I think like the old guard, the old heads in the Magic community, they really like never want anything to change. They want things to be like how they were. But like something I've been really thinking. I was really thinking about this a lot yesterday. Oh, rough. A lot like yesterday during the Hunter Burton, like like I'm going to this paper tournament, a tournament series I've played. I've like been paper grinding locally for like the last 6 or 7, 8 years in DFW. And after all this time at these tournaments, I feel like I'm still just seeing the same faces over and over and over again, and I'm really not seeing. There are some new people, but I'm not seeing very many new people. And Modern is a great format. It's an awesome game, but everybody in here knows, because you've gone through it. Like it takes a lot of time and money and people and friends who play the game. It's just like so the path to becoming like an enfranchised Modern player takes so long, and it is like really difficult to like get people into the game. And in a big way, that was like the best thing Arena did for the game, was it got them, you know, it got people who would otherwise have never played to play. I think it can be easy to forget that sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just on the mull to 5. It's so hard for me to evoke here. I only get one rhino. Image 2 didn't help matters. Doom Wake, please. What are you talking about, Doom? What are you talking? How did? Image 2 didn't help matters. This is how I feel. Hold on. I don't know. I don't feel like Modern is in any way less accessible than it was pre-Image 2. It's always been very expensive. Fetch lands are a lot cheaper. Mana bases are a lot cheaper. Okay, I can't find the clip, but like in the Big Lebowski where the dude is like, Walter, why do you keep bringing up Vietnam? Vietnam doesn't have anything to do with this. What are we talking about? Yeah, I mean, new players who don't play, it's like they're already not playing, you know what I mean? It's about introducing new players to the game. Yeah, I don't feel like Image 2 was... if anything, Image 2 surely brought new players to the game, right? Where it's like you take Commander players who are buying Image 2 cards for Commander, and now they're playing like, oh, I guess maybe I'll try Modern once or twice, right? I don't know. It just doesn't feel like what we're talking about at all. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the point. But like, I don't know. People always... Modern is expensive. Modern has always been expensive, and that's always been part of the problem. And I don't know. It's like, a lot of the expensive cards are from Modern Horizons 2 now, but if anything, it only hurt the enfranchised players who had to buy the new staples, and like, less enfranchised players still have some budget options, and like, the fetch lands are a lot cheaper, and like, it's not appreciably more expensive than it used to be. I left custom H2, but whatevs. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of anecdotal. So a lot of people did. It's, you know, anecdotal evidence can be fine. But like, also like, surely a lot of people came too. Like, especially like EDH players who like otherwise would not have been that interested in the format. I think that that's like specifically the group that got in. But my main point is like modern grinders in general, like, don't really think about like continued health and growth of the game. But like, I just feel like we're not we could be doing more. I don't know. MH locked me out of playing. Yeah. Again, I think Modern Horizons 2 was worse for enfranchised players staying up to date than it was for new players, right? Yeah, I think the moment's past avian with thinking. That's kind of my take. Alright, so we can go to 1. I've been at 1 before. I stopped playing because I felt burnt out by supplement releases, so sure come back someday. Yeah. You know, this is kind of funny too. Like, a lot of people are like... The amount of people who like don't play Modern and watch my stream is funny to me sometimes, but I'm starting to become more aware that is like a group of players here. Don't play Modern, but do watch the stream. Which is flattering, I guess. Main demographic. Sometimes I forget that that is a lot of y'all though. Souls Guy, 3 months, thank you. Yeah, like Doomwake. Okay, 2-1 against Rhinos on the day. Hopefully we can get out of the Rhinos bracket. Do you feel Magic in general is one of the best welcoming communities to diversity and people of different backgrounds? Yeah, I've said this a lot too. Like, okay, this is something I don't feel unconfident in, and I think that, you know, it's something I've definitely experienced. That, like, at a time when I was having a hard time making friends, Magic was a place where I felt like I could make friends, and I know I'm not a minority, but to some extent, I think a lot of people do feel that way. You know, they have a hard time making friends due to discrimination out there. But the Magic community has always been, to me, I think, a very welcoming place, and to people who I know are marginalized, also a very welcoming place. I was a franchise limited player that just invested in a Heliod company when H2 came out, never played it. That's rough. Yeah, that's really rough. Although I will say Heliod company way better in paper than on Magic Online. Yeah, there's obviously exceptions too. Like, there's obviously exceptions. Like, no community is perfect, and there are, you know, bad members of the community. I actually had like a really weird experience this weekend. Never mind. But for the most part, everybody's overwhelmingly nice. You mean by vibes? Just having a discussion. Continue. I'm sorry, dude. I don't know if you heard me say this, dude, but I even think there's a good chance you're right about it. I was mostly trying to like pivot into like a funny clip from The Big Lebowski, but and I was like kind of like playing it up a little bit for that, and then I couldn't find the clip, and then the moment passed, and I think it just kind of looked like I was yelling. But I was just trying to really play it up for the clip, if I'm being honest. I think I have to play the Lotus Field here. And just like lose if there's a main deck Blood Moon. That's true. We were scheduled for another Modern Horizons convo. Didn't check the calendar. This is gonna get countered. Let's just get it countered. I think I want to keep the, you know, I have 2 Fables. I have 1 Blood Sun. Six Murktide with Counterspell up. Not super ideal. Let's see if they counter the Blood Sun. They do. I think I'm pitching Fable over Seasoned Pyromancer. You know, one thing about the whole like community in general, like the like Magic community, I feel like we underwent something that was like really unique to like video game communities if you compare them. And I think that a lot of tournament grinders who played a lot of Paper Magic pre-COVID and post-COVID could probably chime in and weigh in on this. But I feel like pre-COVID, there was like a very different culture in tournament Magic paper play. People were like just less friendly, and people were like really just like very harsh on triggers, and they were very sharp, and tournament Magic was more tense in general. And I feel like post COVID, we're just fucking happy to be back. We're happy to be back, and the vibes are really different now. I'm not maybe not articulating it super well, but I do feel like there was a big culture shift when it comes to tournament Magic after the return of paper play, which is good. And like, you know, obviously like there's still like online clients to play on, but you know, playing on online, just like, you know, other video games didn't, I think, experience this in the same way. Yeah, I mean, the judge community is obviously a huge part of the game functioning in the first place. I don't know. Judges are like very special human beings. Like, just like, I'm gonna just like dedicate a huge chunk of my weekend this weekend to helping this game run smoothly for like little to no thanks. Well, we're probably gonna lose game 1 here. I guess I did draw Solitude. I'm not going to win this game, though, by pitching Solitude this turn, but I might win this game by just drawing it. Like, them bricking, I draw untap land, hardcast Solitude. Obviously, not being able to play this Lotus Field stinks. Too bad Obosh doesn't pitch. I did draw the untapped land. I'm just dead if they have a counterspell, so no reason to upkeep. Just like wasting time. Okay, this would be a sick game to win. This would be a nice game to win. One of the 2 cards is a land, which they almost definitely are not supposed to play because they could connive it away. Well, another Solitude's nice. We still have the Obosh, see, Pyro. If they had considered, they would never ever have considered there. They would have main phase to consider. But also if they consider into a counterspell, it still doesn't matter. You still just lose. Can we Obosh and yeah, we can Obosh and attack with both Solitudes next turn. Only one land for Connive. Yeah, but you should know both for Connive, right? At this point, maybe not. That was on Bloodborne for God Run 3. What number game is it? I feel like he was in game 1. Dude, I was watching Dino like all morning, but I was just like listening to him. I actually like don't know that I looked at the gameplay at all today. That's weird. 3/3 Murktide, a rare sight. I can't believe it took me this long to put Obosh in the stack. Obosh seems like such a big upgrade. Drain you for 12. I guess they'll trade here, but yeah, me gaining 12 is huge. Wow, they took it? I was not expecting them to take it. Yeah, I did not think I was going to win this game. This was a crazy game to win. Obviously, my opponent got kind of flooded, but their draw was like really, really good against mine, and I mulliganed too. I mulliganed, right? I'm pretty sure I mulliganed. Yeah, so Garrison does a few things. It can pick up Emeria's Call or Valakut Awakening, and so you can tutor it with Golos to do that. It can also just like enters untapped and taps for 2 mana with a Bloodsun in play, and also the deck wants to be in between 26 and 27 lands, and so like a Garrison kind of helps with that a little bit, or at least that's how I've been thinking about it. So this matchup, I was thinking I wanted to cut 3 Furies, and I wasn't sure about the last card. Probably 4th Golos. Could be 4th Ephemerate. Let's do that. How detrimental is Blood Moon? Do you not want Second Plains? Blood Moon's not that big a deal. You could play Second Plains. The problem is you already have like a lot of untapped white sources with Flagstones and Emeria's Call. That like one more white source is kind of awkward. You also have you have Golos to search up your plains. You have Fable the Mirror Breaker for treasure tokens. You have and then you have like Prismatic Ending that can answer Blood Moon. And you have like a ton of red cards. So overall, it's not that bad. Okay, on the draw against Murktide, I'll mull again. Andy, 4 months, thank you. Just have to keep this. Don't love it though, obviously. Also, Buzzwing Calm is for, weirdly enough, creativity. I don't like it. So this is the biggest issue with adding Obosh, is all of the good sideboard cards for creativity cost 2 mana. You could obviously just play Hallowed Moonlight in the sideboard and call it a day. But like it's awkward too because like you want Obosh against like rhinos and it's a whole thing, right? So I've been kind of thinking, and last night I got this deck together and I was really happy with it. I'm like, oh, this looks so good. And then I'm like, oh shit, I don't have an Obosh sideboard for creativity. And I spent like an hour looking at so many cards, looking for like odd mana value cards that are good against creativity. At one point, I had Nevermore in the sideboard, and I'm like, I mean, this is Necromancer, right? But it's not. They're going to Binding it, they're going to Teferi it, they're going to Besage you it. I don't think that you can do it. So, but Blossoming Calm is 1 mana, stop all the Archon triggers for 2 turns. It stops the Thoughtseizes against the Junt versions. And then they'll buy you time to like Solitude the Archons, hopefully. That's the thinking, at least. First Gimli spoiled. Wait, they're doing more with Lord of the Rings spoilers? I thought they were like waiting on them for a while. Or the last 2 sideboard slots for Green Red Food. I don't almost ever think about sideboard slots like this, or at least I didn't do it for Green Red Food, like the last 2 spots. Like obviously, I think you're saying there. I have 2 cards I'd like to include in the sideboard here, but like that's not how I think about sideboards at all, or usually not.
Path, March, and Sway Speed to disrupt their targeting. Yeah, it's just all those cards suck, you know. I'm kind of just like also interested in trying the Blossoming Columns, and we'll see. We discard both Blood Suns. Yeah, so if we are able to get the Blood Moon off the field, which would be difficult since I didn't bring in any Wear Tears, we'll have a couple Lotus Fields in play. We'd have to, like, you know, Fable or Basic Planes for Prismatic Ending on 3. Oh! It only showed 13 cards. Okay, well, that makes more sense. I didn't realize. But I do get that question sometimes. The last 2 Sideboard slots. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Thank you, Mason. I always, okay, there should be a Pirate Spellbomb and the Stone Brain is what I played. That's funny though. Yeah, I didn't actually end up playing the Emrakul, did I? Yeah, you could get the 3rd colored mana from Fable of the Mirror Breaker is the only way. I made day 2, then I lost in day 2. Okay, obviously not gonna jam Spyro in a counter spell. I'll just put Obosh in her hand. I think this turn I just trade this for Counterspell. They exiled Counterspell. That can't be right. You need to leave that for like the Slam Murktide, right? Okay, it's Ragavan mystery card. If they don't dash the Ragavan, I'll pop a Relic in the turn. That's true, yeah. It's actually good for us if they get Delirium. They exile Steam Vents. Cast the Monkey. Alright, let's pop. Damn it. Subtlety? So Subtlety's not that bad. That is actually not so bad. Don't think I want to Solitude it yet. So we don't know what their last card is, but it can't be Counterspell. Graveyard of Ragavan. Keep a card on top, but then just connive it away. So they should have put it in the graveyard again. I guess no, they just keep a spell, any spell on top for the counter. So I get to go cast Obosh, trade Seasoned Pyromancer for Ragavan, I guess. How do you get 3-color Pinning Moon? Yeah, from Fable. But also, like, you know, your deck is mostly red. You can just, like, have Blood Moon be in play. It's not that bad. You gotta hold that Delta for Shredder. Monkey bad in the deck? It would be suboptimal is the word I'd use. It's a really good chance they go like chump take 2. How do you ever play around double bolt? Okay, well that was like not on my radar. Double trade. I think I like main phase bolt, upkeep bolt, and this avoids Ledger Shredder conniving.
Okay. Yeah, they can't Murktide, so I don't need to pop the Relic here. Juragavan? So Solitude should win the game. I don't know what one card they could have here. Pop Relic in combat? What does that play around? I guess I shouldn't have popped it at all, though, because they could have a heat in response, maybe. I don't remember if they had Delirium. Should be good now. Murktide in second main. They can't Murktide in second main. They don't have any blue. They use their blue on counterspell. Okay, let's get a 4-1 prediction going. Sure. Don't love drawing a land there. Obviously, like, you know, having a deck full of Valakut Awakening and Seasoned Pyromancers and Fables does help you mitigate Flood. We're not playing against Creativity because they have Bauble. So, yeah, I mean, Mardu Triumph, Wooded Foothills, Bauble is kind of a weird combo. Likely some kind of brew. Could be Domain Zoo with Bauble somehow? It could just be John's, just like, yeah, just John. No, they've got the Triumph. I don't know. Aren't bounce lands in Nombo with Lotus. I have one bounce land in the deck with as a Golos tutor target. Do you hate drawing land here? Yeah, not Creativity because they have Bauble. But it's also good with Blood Sun. I think the first copy is good. Yeah, that was a crazy match, Bimbino. 4-3-1, think of Dave Months if you're doing well. Well, my draws have been really bad. Oh, I like maybe Domain Zoo? Or sorry, Bring to Light? Tamashii combo. Okay, Tamashii combo. Final answer. Dude, I can't... It's classic Magic, right? Keep a 4-land hand, draw 3 on the play, draw 3 lands. What's the best top end in Legend Shadow? I was always partial to Underworld Breach, yeah. And, you know, I did, like, kind of have, like, just one really good day with it, but I didn't play much after it either. Not, again, they're going to discard. Not the most powerful start, draw no land. Turn 5, cast an Obosh. Yeah, dude, I was at the Hunter Burden, and like every single Hammer player was playing Solitude in their deck. Can someone tell me what's going on with that? Any Hammer ambassadors want to like key me in on like when every single they got Solitude? Travis Brown? I think I sat next to Travis. Okay, so Travis made it popular. What is the idea behind playing Solitude and Hammer? Hammer players are bored? Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Removal good? I don't know. I don't know that removal is good in Hammer. It is a good card, yeah. I am on like a board with that. Like in general, yes, that is a good card. Yeah, I saw Emeria, the Emeria tech. I think, you know, you probably get a lot of value just because like nobody plays against it, plays around it. Makes you better in the mirror. Free spells good in low mana decks. That's a good argument. I like hearing that argument. Travis won 2 games with spell side of Emeria. Okay, well that is something to hear, huh? It's interesting. It's innovative for sure. I just don't know if I like it. I don't know. Oh, that's a good draw. I think we'll keep the Ephemerate up so we can kill another Tamashi. Attack the red next turn. Let's do Urza Thopter Sword deck there, and Tamashi seem pretty neat. Yeah, I've messed around with Tamashi in some shells like that. Just like Tamashi plus Lotus Wind can just be good value too. Evoke, clear a blocker, use Tap a Drum, evoke Sunspell Knight. Yeah, I like that. I think another thing too, it's like I imagine that, like, when you're playing Solitude and Hammer, like, just like nobody ever plays it around it either, which is likely part of it. They get Dryad. Wow. Do you think this is just a great meta version of Lotus Field? I think this is the most powerful version with Chalice being bad. I wouldn't say it's as much about Chalice being bad as like Obosh being really good. And like you have other good options that are all odd mana value, and getting access to Obosh has legitimately been the difference between winning and losing like 2 of our matches already in this league. And it just doesn't cost you very much to add Obosh, and Obosh is a broken card. It's free, and this is definitely the version I'd recommend at the moment after my like limited testing. The biggest problem though is that you lose like good sideboard cards against Creativity. Creativity is like really, really popular. Right now I'm playing Blossoming Calm, which is like, I know, mediocre. I think I'm going to play my Lotus Field here. I'm definitely like, I don't think you can legally play Nevermore. I think Nevermore is just not a card that I'm going to register. But there may be like, I don't know, I looked for like an hour. I was like looking at like trying to find like red spells that like redirected the targets of Creativity. I couldn't find anything. White, like random white hate pieces that nobody's found. I just couldn't find anything good. Meddling Mage. Again, the problem is not that there are not good sideboard cards against Creativity. The problem is in Boros colors, there are not good sideboard cards that are odd mana value. The right answer might just be play Hallowed Moonlight. Play Hallowed Moonlight, play Orglar. That could just be the correct answer. Dude, I consider Mana Time. Undercloaker tier 1 for 3 months. Thank you. Can you just start to 16? Right now I have Blossoming Calm. Redain. I'm like 99% sure that's an Esper card. What are we talking about? Blacksmith Skill. Yeah, the problem is Blacksmith Skill is just like, it's just not good enough, right? It only stops one of the targets. It could be your best option though. Oh, Redain. I was thinking of Rafine. Yeah, Redain sucks against the Lightning Bolt deck, but I did look at it, yeah. It's not the worst option, but it is not good enough, I think. Okay, so I want a Needle. Prismatic Ending's okay. Kills Ren and 6. Can kill Tamashi. It's not one of your better removal spells, though. I want the Emrakul. I want to kill them with their own Tamashi. I don't care if it's suboptimal. Isn't Solitude Ephemerate good enough? Well, that's like, that's something. You need sideboard cards for Creativity, y'all. It's just like Creativity is one of the most popular tournament decks. Not having a sideboard plan for them, I think, is just wrong. And Blossoming Calm is, I think, fine. I think it's fine. It's better against the Jund versions. It buys you 2 turns against Archon triggers. 2 like Solitude or just outvalue them. And while also giving you like an extra plan against burn. So I think that this is fine. Probably want the first Weird Tear also. No, Graftear's Cage does not stop Creativity because of bullshit, mostly. Go to 5. Did I like Found in Third Path and then See the Truth in Shell? I did like it. I think that there are pros and cons to playing it and not playing it, though. it's like when you play Founding, you are like a lot weaker to early graveyard hate, and you're weaker to counter spells and like spell pierce and stuff. When like before, when you're like on the like all like when you're like Serum Visions on the cantrip version, it's like not that difficult to just cantrip into like a Prismatic Ending for an unlicensed hearse or something like that. And now it's like a much bigger problem. But like, so like I think it's maybe like a question of like power level versus like consistency / resiliency. And I did some playtesting with Phoenix last week, and I did not really come to any firm conclusions on the pros and the cons. Yeah, I think that might be the best answer, sideboarding out Obosh, so you can get Moonlight. But one awkward thing, and like maybe this isn't that awkward, but like Moonlight is a really versatile sideboard card, and like it's awkward that like you would want to bring it in against Rhinos, but Obosh is also like really nice to have against Rhinos, and I don't know, it's tough. Yeah, holding up 2 manas, yeah, I agree, not always the best plan. I likely dead next turn. Our draw is obviously pretty awkward. Rough Mold of 5. Seasoned Pyromancer is better than Fable here, although maybe I'm just discarding my 5-drops. No, let's try to cast a 5-drop next turn. Yeah, I can't play a Leyline either. Is Emrakul better than Nexus? You aren't likely to cast either without Lotus Field. I mean, we obviously, I think yes is the answer. It's a higher mana value, and it's like a better hit off Golos. But like one thing about like Nexus versus Emrakul, when it comes to like fighting against Mill, it's like you have to be able to cast Nexus against Mill, otherwise it doesn't do very much. If you can, you win the game. If you can get up to 7 mana before they mill you, you win the game. But you don't have to cast Emrakul because it just keeps shuffling. And like Emrakul is also a card I'm siding in against like 4-color Omnath. I'm siding in against blue-white control. I'm gonna concede here. We may not be instantly dead, but they have like too much cards and mana for us to win. Okay, let's run it back. Definitely liking the list. Lost a couple of matches, but I think the list is feeling good at least. Angel of Despair and Dancing Sword. Not the best chest. How do I feel about Curse of Silence? I think that card's terrible.